Welcome to Go Lurk Yourself, a podcast about playing video games and streaming on the internet. My name is Crunky.
I am Cherry Cake.
And today we're going to talk about the brand new, was it released on Friday, Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Whoa.
The 25th, that's right. Cherry, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Not bad. Before we get into it, do you want to talk about anything you've been playing recently?
To be honest, I haven't been playing anything new. Our friend Cinechris, who we've talked about numerous times, has been doing a run-through of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but in Master Mode. And I originally had it, and then completed it, and then sold it, and then he made me get it again, because I forgot.
He made you?
Yes, he forced my hand. So I've just been relaxing. The good thing about Zelda is that because I've already played it, I have no rush to finish it because I already know what's going to happen. So this playthrough allows me to just sit and just wander, which is kind of what I was looking for. So yeah, I've been on Breath of the Wild mostly this week.
That's cool. You haven't even been streaming it, have you? You've been just playing it offline?
Yeah, just offline, yeah.
Yeah, nice. It's kind of the Switch is great for like relaxing types of gameplay. Yeah,
it was exactly the kind of game that I was looking for while I was like lying in bed, I guess, and just waiting before I go to sleep. So yeah, great game.
Yeah, speaking of the Switch, I guess in 2018 it was the number one selling in revenue and dollars. It made the most money out of all the consoles.
I do remember you saying that. Wasn't there some kind of stat you gave me about it compared to the Wii U as well?
Yeah, it was the highest grossing sales, the most sales they've had since the Wii, actually. The Wii U stat was that Smash Brothers. What was it? Smash Brothers sold. I don't. It was something silly.
Yeah, it sold more in like the first week than the entirety of the Wii U console, or something stupid like that.
It was something like that. Yeah, it was ridiculous how successful that is. And we all have these. Well, I think we all do these metrics of how you know how much success something has by like people we know who normally aren't gamers are talking about it.
Yeah.
And I have that. Like, there's some people that I work with who are not gamers, and they're like, they come to me and they're like, "Do you know what I've been thinking about this Nintendo Switch? My nephew wants it. I don't know what it does. Is it portable? Is it hooked to your TV?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it does both."
Aww.
And then I have a big shout out to my nephew on Twitch. He just started streaming on Twitch. His name is It's Nitty Gritty, NITTY, I'll put a link in the show notes if you guys want to follow him. But he plays a lot of shooters and Fortnite and whatnot. But he was talking about getting a Switch, and he hates Nintendo, so I know it's popular.
Wow.
He doesn't hate Nintendo, but he's always been more of a Microsoft Xbox fanboy.
Yeah, so. Yeah, there's success then when people like that who are like adamantly not going to get one, and then realize how good they are and decide they're actually a pretty good console.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh wait, it's the thing that I know you and I both had Wii U's, but not a lot of people did. But when you first got the Wii U and you have this handheld thing that you can't take more than 10 feet away from the Wii U, you're like, man, if I could just take this upstairs and play with it while I go to sleep, it would be great. I'd love to have one, be able to take this all over the house. And the Wii U is the natural evolution of that. I don't know. I think it's. The Switch.
Yeah, I know you meant.
The Wii U is the abomination that should never have been.
No, it wasn't an abomination. I think we've had this discussion before about the Wii U. It's just unfortunate. You made a good point of this, that it wasn't marketed right, and people didn't really know what the Wii U was, because it was just a Wii, but with this kind of handheld controller.
Yeah.
And like you were saying then, like, is it portable? Can you go outside with it, or, away from the actual console itself? And I don't think people really knew what to expect from it.
It's funny because I remember when the Wii U was new, seeing people with DC or AC converters on trains and cars rides with their Wii U plugged in, hooked up in a car, going, "It's portable." I'm like, no, it's not even close to portable.
Oh, that would be, if you'd got a picture of that would be funny. I need to look that up.
It's on the Wii U subreddit. It's probably still there in one of the higher ranked pictures. But speaking of games that are like the right game you didn't know you wanted to play, the Resident Evil 2 remake came out Friday.
Yep.
And there was a demo for it maybe a week ago. Did you play the demo at all?
No, I never got around to it, and I'm so annoyed that I didn't.
There's a lot of I know you've got a lot of other stuff going on right now, but I had no real interest in playing. I've never played I've never been into the Resident Evil games. Something about the control style back in the 90s, those versions were like they call them tank controls, where if you're using an analog stick, if you push, because basically this game predates the analog stick in some regards. If you push left and right, your character doesn't sidestep strafe. He turns. And then you have to push forward to go that way. So, and there was a button to like 180 real quick. And the original Resident Evil games all had like third person cameras that were fixed. So you'd walk into a room and you'd walk, sort of like, what's the Zelda Ocarina of Time had some areas with fixed camera, like the Hyrule Castle.
It's
Final Fantasy VII had it.
You're looking through like a security camera.
Exactly. A great way to say it. So those things always turned me off or made it difficult. Like playing in quicksand, I was not my style of game. I remember, when I had a GameCube, the Resident Evil 0 or Resident Evil Remake, one of the old first remakes they did for the GameCube was Resident Evil 1. The very original. And I thought, well, I'm finally going to play this classic. And I got it on a Friday night. It was dark out. And I had a beer. And I was like, I'm going to sit here and play this game. And I got to the part, if you've ever played it or any of the remakes, where the dogs jump through the window.
Oh, yeah. And
scared the absolute I was like, nope, I'm done.
Did you never go back to it then?
No, I never did. Oh, I think I tried, but like when I went back the next day, I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. Yeah. And one thing that this Resident Evil 2 remake does that I love, and now just full disclosure up front, because a lot of people are very passionate about this series. I am a newbie when it comes to Resident Evil 2. If I say something that's not quite right, these are my impressions of what I've read and from talking to friends. So if I have some of the details wrong here about the thing, don't crucify me on Twitter, please.
Yeah, don't take offense, guys.
Yeah. I had I mixed up a couple of things in my Dark Souls review and upset some folks. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that where I'm coming from. I love Dark Souls. I think I said the peculiar doll was somewhere that it wasn't. And I'm like, I've played through this game 1,000 times. I just pick everything up as I go.
You've already lost me even with that sentence.
I know. So Resident Evil 2, the demo comes out and I get it. I'm like, play it it's timed. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Steam. I'm assuming it's on Xbox One and PS4 as well, but it's a timed demo. You can only play it for 30 minutes. And it just launches you right in the police station. And I played it and I was figuring things out and I streamed it and I thought, that was all right. I remember being surprised that I didn't hate it because I normally hated Resident Evil. I fully expected to be like, nope, this is why I don't play Resident Evil. And I was actually going to take a page out of Bisha's and just rant about it on stream and use that for entertainment. But Dee said, you look like you had a really good time. And I was like, yeah, I think it was all right. And she goes, are you going to get it? I go, probably not. And she goes, well, I already bought it for you and give it to you on Steam.
Well, you have no choice in that. You've already got it. So,
no, you're playing it, asshole.
Okay, just as a side note on that, one comment that you made to me, I think it was yesterday, we were playing Siege, but before you streamed, and you said the reason that you were streaming was because Dee was bored, and she said, go stream because I want to watch something.
It's exactly what happened. I had Friday off and I did all kinds of gaming on Friday and I stayed up too late and I slept into like noon on Saturday morning. And I got up at noon and she goes, there is nobody on Twitch right now that I want to watch. I want to see you play Resident Evil. Go play it. Like, yes, ma'am. So, here's where I am before I get started on what my take on Resident Evil 2. I've played through the first version of the story. If you've ever played Resident Evil 2, either the old one or the new one, there's Leon and Claire, and they each have their own playthrough. They each have 2 playthroughs. And I don't know all the specifics, but I've done a little bit of research on it, and both playing through Leon's A story, or the first story they call it in this one. In the original 98 version, they called it story A and B. Here they just call it Leon's story and then Leon's second story. Right. And then I watched probably 75% of Claire's A story or first story, watching Bisha play it. And he was in my chat a lot during the first playthrough of Leon's and talking about the differences. And what it is don't expect the game to be completely different. It's not like Nier Automata where you play through the same story twice, but it's completely different because the two different characters go different places. It's not that at all.
Yeah.
They mostly do stay in the same places, but the different keys that are available for you are different. So there's some rooms that Leon will never see and vice versa. And the weapons are different. I found that out today that I was watching Bishiv this morning play one of the areas toward the end of the game that I got to last night. And he had like a gun I had never seen before. Instead of like Leon, so there's a little bit of spoilers here. I'm not going to talk about plot elements, but Leon gets a flamethrower toward the end.
Oh, nice.
And there's nothing more fun than torching these zombie bastards that have been chasing the whole game.
Yeah.
And Claire gets this like electric gun that she can hold and charge and blow their heads up and stuff.
Wow.
And yeah, and I know there's a difference in their pistols and the different guns that are available. So that alone, when's the last time you heard me excited to replay a game? I'm going to replay the story on Resident Evil 2 on Claire's version because I want to see it.
Yeah. I think probably the last one that you were just saying then was Nier Automata. I remember you absolutely loving that game and replaying that. So I think that was probably the last one that I remember you being excited about to replay. When was that? Yeah, that is.
What? Say that again.
When was that? How long ago was that?
Last summer, a year ago, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe not that far. I don't remember. It was my game of the year in 2017. So there.
Oh wow!
There you go.
Fair enough.
I really liked Nier Automata, and I do look forward to playing it again. But not while I got Resident Evil 2 to play.
The thing is, like. I think we were talking about it last night, and we were saying that it's not a massive game, which is fine. I mean, this is a remake of like a game that was from the early 2000s,
98.
Oh, late 90s.
Yeah.
So I can see why they've done why they've made it so you can replay it 4 times. If you've got a game like Nier Automata, which is huge, which is like 50 plus hours for one playthrough, I can see why they've implemented the 4 stories, I guess, stories in inverted commas, for Resident Evil, the 2 remake. So yeah, I would be happy doing that because I would know that there'd only be like less than 10 hours worth of one playthrough. It wouldn't overwhelm me playing it again.
And I think you did such a good job of comparing it to Nier, because Nier, while it's a lot longer, it also has like the action RPG grindy elements. There was many hours in that game where I'm not high enough level to fight this boss. I'm going to go back and kill shit, just random shit for 3 hours and level up. So Resident Evil has none of that. Resident Evil is just to say it's a horror game, like if you're affected by gratuitous violence and seeing zombies' heads split open and stuff, yeah, it's really scary. That stuff didn't bother me at all. I live in America. I'm just joking. I've seen countless horror films, and the jump scares in this game are few and far between. There are some, but like it's not the Alien Isolation, nails gripping into your mouse and keyboard or controller the whole time like that game could be. If you've never played Alien Isolation, that game is one of the scariest games I've ever played because it uses tension very well.
Yeah, I've seen General Chaos Live play it, and
yeah,
there is no way that I'm touching that game.
Oh, really? It's a very amazing experience. It's like 5 years old now, or 4 years old now, I think.
I get scared so easy. Come on.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is very scary, but this one, I would say it is not. It's not chock full of cheap scares. There are. I want to say I was actually counting them, talking about how few there were last night on my stream when one got me pretty good, and it wasn't even an enemy. It was a corpse fell from the ceiling and landed in front of my face, and I jumped.
Was that the one that's hanging? And then you walk up to it, and then it just kind of dropped.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There were, it was like on the second level of some stairs, and it fell off the balcony. And, I think it did actually come to life later, like after I passed it. But
one thing I've seen through a few playthroughs of this is that it's like you were just saying. Then it's really gory. Like,
yes,
there seems to be they've really gone for it with this.
Yeah, hyper realistic graphics with like. something that it was funny because Dee and I were talking this morning watching B-Shiv, and B-Shiv just keeps going on and on about you can like saw their arms off.
Wow.
So like it's real hard not really hard. It's somewhat of an effort to decapitate a zombie and keep it from coming back. Like the bullets are very scarce in this game. Even on the normal difficulty mode, which I've been playing on, they're super hard to come by. And it takes with a pistol, it takes 8 bullets to permanently put a zombie down by shooting in the head till its head blows up.
Wow.
But let's say you want to conserve your bullets. You could down him with a couple of bullets and he'll lay down for a little bit before he gets back up. While he's on the ground, you can cut his legs off with your knife, and then he can't walk anymore. And he just kind of pulls himself around, and he's real easy to avoid. That's
good. That's great.
And there's realistic physics in the arms. You can chop their arms off too. It's just he going on and on about how the physics were B-Shiv was, and we were laughing about how excited he was about it. But it's a very interesting mechanic because I think it lends itself to replays. Like, this is how I did it the first time. Let's try it again. What I kept doing was I'd down an enemy by shooting it a few times with a pistol, and then I'd save one shotgun blast for its head while it was on the ground and permanently put it on the ground.
Oh yeah.
But later on, that didn't work. There are these really annoying enemies in the game called lickers, because they're these giant hulking guys that run around on all fours. You can tell they used to be human. Their brains are on the outside, and they got great big tongues that come out. They're blind, so they lick around to see where everything is. And if you make noise, they come right after you, and they'll kill you in 2 hits.
Wow.
So B-Shiv told me get a flashbang, and while they're flashbangs, shoot them in the brain, and that seemed to be the best thing for him. But it still took 4 or 5 shots, and you're panicky because they're going to kill you in 2 hits if you don't do it real quick.
Oh, actually, now speaking of that, I heard that the save system is different on this one.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up, because there's a difference between the regular mode, the normal mode, and then the hardcore mode, which I think it's called hardcore or hard, or the next, or expert, or whatever. It's the next one up. B-Shiv started on that, and what that is you save at a typewriter in this game, right? I guess that's very, very, I never played the Resident Evil 2 original, but you save at a typewriter, sort of like that is what he said. And on hardcore mode, you have to find typewriter ribbon, and you only have a finite amount of it to use as a save system. Oh,
that was in the original one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Just in a normal mode, you had to find the ribbons in order to actually save. And obviously, it would use a ribbon every time you saved. So you had to be very aware of when you were about to save. So, but it's nice to know that in this one, at least on the normal mode, that you can just save as many times. Obviously, you still have to find the typewriter itself to save, but it's nice knowing that you don't have to manage the ribbons in order to actually save as well.
So I figured there was some reason they were counting my saves, because it tells you at the end how many times you've saved. Well, the whole time it tells you how many times you've saved, and I think I got a C when I ended the game. That was my grade for my playthrough.
All right.
Which is basically, I think, factors in how many times you died, how many times you saved, yada yada yada. I'm assuming, I don't know the exact formula, but based on what I've seen and heard, that seems to be about right. Because I think Chichen got a B+ the first time he played through. It was funny because the night the game came out, I played it for a half an hour, but it was really late. It came out at midnight on Friday morning, Thursday night, and I watched Chichen play it for about a half an hour, and I lurked his channel when I went to bed. I put it on mute, and I went to sleep, and I got up just in time to see him beat the end of the game. It took him about 8 hours, and he got a B+. But I think the key difference in this, it's for everyone to know, is this is not a reskin. This is not where they take the original game and just put high res textures and character models on it. They actually remade a whole new engine, or adapted a more modern engine. I don't know specifically. This might be the Resident Evil 7 modified engine. I'm not sure, but
yes, you are correct.
Okay, it is a Resident Evil 7.
As far as I think I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as I think I know.
Don't quote me on that, but I have heard it was something to do with Resident 7 anyway.
That's word on the street.
Yes.
So they basically it plays completely different. I was able to use mouse and keyboard controls, and while the controls aren't amazingly perfect. They're way better than what I remember playing through on console back in the day. And I know B-Shiv's playing with a controller right now. So he loves playing the game with a controller.
Oh, I guess it is, 2019. So
right.
They should have upgraded the controls, I guess. It would be so awkward if they'd have used the tank controls again for this. Yeah.
We want to be faithful to the original.
Yeah, I don't think people would have been happy with that for some reason.
No, I think if people love that, they should just go play the original again.
Yeah,
for the nostalgia factor. But
the nostalgia and the voice acting as well.
I'll tell you, the voice acting in this one, while is a huge step up in quality, the writing didn't get upgraded much. The ending of the Leon campaign I got to last night was just like super cheesy, and like I don't know if that's like, it's got to be intentional, right? That's got to be like part of the camp charm of the game,
I guess.
But Leon is this unwavering Boy Scout at all times. He's like, literally just fought a giant crocodile. Everyone in the town is a zombie or been mauled by a zombie. And he's like, I'm taking you downtown, lady. When he finds like a government conspiracy person in this like 4,000-year-old, umbrella corporation lab where they've engineered the toxin. He's like talking about taking a person downtown to his boss later. I'm like, your boss is dead, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh no. Yeah. Get a grip, Leon.
and I'm not going to mention any names of the characters for spoiler concerns. The game only came out 2 days ago, but there is a female character who is not Claire toward the end that he has this like chase interaction with, and they start to become close, and she double crosses him or maybe doesn't, you don't know, and he goes to like arrest her early on, and then they start to fall in love, and like right after it becomes obvious that she's not who she says she is and she's evil, they play up this tension between them, like he can't let her go because he's in love with her. I'm like, she's the reason half of this shit's here, and she does not a good actor in this. Why are you letting her get away with it? Yes, she's hot in the red dress. We all get that, but you don't need to
I know
go
who you
after
mean.
her.
Yeah, I do know who you mean now. Yeah.
So, like, but I think it works because this is like it feels like a campy story, like a pulp novel kind of deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the time it was released, it probably like got high praise for the storyline and the acting in it, I imagine.
Yeah, it's bad though when you can look at the Resident Evil movies and go, now there's good acting.
God. We don't talk about them; they don't exist.
Oh, I saw the first couple, I think, and I've never seen all the rest of them. I've seen clips of them that are just like beyond ridiculous.
Like, it's just like such a shame because it gives video games to movie conversion such a bad name.
Yeah, that's true. There've been some good ones here recently. What was the recent game that was really really good? Oh shoot.
Nope. The last one I watched was Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Tomb Raider wasn't bad though, right?
It was. As an objective kind of view, it was okay. But for this is the problem that I have with the movie conversions, is that if you're going to go and do something that is true to the story, it needs to be true to the story, because the Tomb Raider film, unfortunately, I think it's been out long enough, so don't worry about, I guess, spoilers ahead. This film brings Lara's dad into it.
Yeah. And
in the games, her dad dies when she's a kid. So it kind of doesn't follow the canon, I guess, if you want to call it that, from the games, which is, I think, what annoyed more of the gamer people that were watching it. But as a story, as the acting and just general movie, it was quite funny to watch. Like, it was really good. I enjoyed watching it.
Was it better than Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
but
man.
Again, it was the time, like it was the period in time where, things could be campy. I mean, like what year did they come out? Early 2000s?
2001 for the original Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
The Lara Croft one, I mean. I'm sorry, the Angelina Jolie. They're all Lara Croft, I think.
But yeah, this one I enjoyed it. Alicia Vikander, that's her name. Alicia Vikander. She's quite good as a Lara Croft. I hope they do another one. I do.
Because the 2001 one was called Lara Croft: Tomb Raider. That's funny.
Yeah.
You hope they do another one. Did they? Was it successful? I don't really remember.
I think it was average. I think it got average reviews, average. What am I calling it?
Box office success. Yeah. So the best, one of the best movies, the one I was thinking of was the 2006 Silent Hill adaptation.
Oh, yeah.
That one was like, it wasn't a great film. It kind of falls apart on its third act, but it was still like super entertaining to watch. Like I remember being like genuinely freaked out at parts of that movie. I think part of that is because I had never played the game, so I didn't have anything to really compare it to.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to expect, and wasn't disappointed that it wasn't as amazing as my imagination was, but
yeah.
I thought it was entertaining.
No, I completely forgot about that one, but you are definitely right. The only one downside to it is that towards the end, not the very end of the film, but towards the end of the film, it goes a bit off the rails. But
yeah,
just up to that point, it's really good. I'm not, like I said, I'm not really one for like horror or like scary films or tension filled films. But I wanted to watch that one purely because I had played the Silent Hills before, and I wanted to see what they'd done with it. And I was very, very impressed with it. Very happy with it. They did well.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I mean, it was no 1993 Super Mario Brothers, but you know.
Well, I mean, nothing can compare to that. Gronk.
Have you ever seen the old Street Fighter movie from the 90s?
The one with Kylie Minogue in it?
I don't know. I don't know the actors' names, but it's basically the one that's real campy. It's got, I think Jean-Claude Van Damme is in it.
Yes. And it's got, I can't remember the guy that plays, the bad guy. Who's the bad guy?
M. Bison.
Yeah.
Yes, the guy. It's Tim Curry from It, right?
No, it's the guy that plays the dad in Addams Family.
Oh yeah. I get those two actors confused.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, I don't know his name either, but he was really good. He made that movie.
Oh yeah.
Instead of being terrible, he made it somewhat fun, and it was campy as hell.
Oh no, it was it was a wild ride. It could be worse. It could be the Mortal Kombat film.
Yeah, I saw that movie in the theaters with my wife when we were dating. The best part of that, we had a fun time with the movies though, because we were in the theater, we're watching it, they're getting ready and they introduce Scorpion and someone in the theater goes, "Get over here!" And the whole theater lost it. So it was like a real electric atmosphere. It was opening night. Everybody that was there was a video game nerd.
Great.
We also saw Doom 2005 with The Rock.
Oh, I think I wiped that from my memory. Didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, it's not great. It was fun, but it was not great.
My dad watched one recently, again with The Rock, latest one, Rampage.
Oh yeah, that's another video game movie.
Yeah, it's like a remake from the 80s, isn't it?
I don't think it was ever a movie. It was a video game.
Oh.
It could have been, I don't know, but it's basically about a giant lizard, wolf, and Godzilla creature.
Yeah.
No. Lizard, wolf, and what's the other one?
No, it's like a massive gorilla in it. Yeah,
gorilla, you're right. So did you watch it with him, or did he just watch it by himself?
No, I came down and it was on the credits, thankfully. I've heard not good things about it.
Oh, gotcha.
But then again, I don't think The Rock is churning out particularly quality things these days, unfortunately.
No, he's just getting paid.
Oh, yeah.
Another famously bad video game movie was Double Dragon from 94. Have you ever seen it?
Oh, no. That one passed me by. Who was in that one?
Let's see. Starring Robert Patrick, Mark Damascus, Scott Wolf, Christina Melandro Wagner. So, those people.
Yeah, I know them well. They were also in some other things.
Oh my God, there were other Mortal Kombat movies?
Wait, what?
Oh, that's right. There was another one called Mortal Kombat Annihilation in 97. It was bad.
Was it straight to DVD? Or straight to VHS?
No, the original Mortal Kombat made enough money that it actually went to theaters, but it has a 3% score on Rotten Tomatoes. We'll just say that.
Wow.
But it's no Blood Rain 2.
Back then, like, video game to movies conversion was, like, probably a new thing. So I imagine, like, all the gamers, that, like you were saying then, you went to the cinema to see Mortal Kombat, and the cinema was filled with gamers. So if you have an audience of gamers, they'll want to see a movie, and especially if it's something new. So I can totally understand why it made money, unfortunately.
It duped a lot of people out of their hard-earned cash.
You demanded your money back as you walked out of the theatre.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? I laugh, but I ended up, I liked it sort of like we were talking about Resident Evil 2's ending. I liked it despite it being a little cheesy because it's a mixture of fun and video games.
Yeah.
And if you're seeing a movie based on a video game, you're kind of along for that ride anyway. It's not like anybody plays Mortal Kombat, or at least the old ones. I don't know about the newer ones, but the old ones that was a brilliant piece of story building or world building, storytelling. You're just like, if the dude ripped a guy's freaking spine out and breathed fire on his feet, come on. I mean, what do you expect? Shakespeare over here?
I'm not gonna lie. I played Mortal Kombat 10, and on I think it was actually on my console when I had it back the first time. And I didn't care about the film, the story. I just wanted to see some X-ray moves where people punch so hard they reach inside and pull the liver out or something and then stuff it down the throat. Just things like that. You're not there for the story.
You're there for wholesome family entertainment.
So true.
Have you seen the new videos, previews for that, the new Mortal Kombat?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I saw some gameplay of it. It does look
that hyper realism. Yeah,
it looks similar to 10 for me. But I'm assuming there are some differences. But it's not really a franchise that I'm that bothered about.
And it doesn't look like a huge leap for you, is what you're saying? Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
Well, I think I want to kind of recap on Resident Evil 2 here before we close up shop. What I want to say about Resident Evil 2 for the people listening, if you've played Resident Evil a lot, this may not apply to you, but I was very surprised by how fun Resident Evil was to play. The modernized controls, the great graphics, the kind of discovering this world has been a lot of fun for me. And because I don't have anything to compare it to, I didn't play the originals. It was all new and interesting to me. But from talking, I made sure to talk to a lot of people that did play this. Our friend Chichin, who's been on the podcast, and B-Shiv played a lot of the originals, and they said that there is enough differences in the story that they kind of play your expectations against you. So like, you'll be expecting a jump scare to be where it was in the original, and it's not. Or you'll be expecting an item to be a certain place, and they've really remapped all of that. So, it's a very entertaining experience. There's a couple of parts in the game that are really, they were frustrating more than fun to me, and that there's a character who was only in the like B stories of the original they call him the Tyrant in this one, but I think his name was Mr. X. And when you get to basically after you get about 80% of the way through an area, something happens where he's suddenly chasing you. And whereas before, if you killed a zombie, he was dead, and that allowed you time to explore and find the puzzles and solve the issues, because there's a lot of like locked doors where you have to go like find a note that has the code on it, or a clue to where to find the code, or you have to find an item that has a keypad on it and it's missing some numbers, so you got to go find replacement keys. And that's all fine and dandy. Using the map, you can go around and look for these clues and find the pieces of these puzzles. But when all of a sudden they introduce a stalker character who basically will kill you in 2 hits, and you can't stop. So like literally you have to run from him, get him, run upstairs, run through and go through a back way of the place you were just in, just to keep him busy, to give you time to, solve these puzzles. That got kind of annoying there at the very end. And he would do that a couple of times through the game, depending on the areas that you were in. I understand why they did it though, like from a game making perspective, to keep the tension up, because you get to a point in an area where you've explored most of it, killed most of it, and the tension starts to drop. Some people I've seen say that this game is not as scary as the originals, and I will say there aren't as many jump scares, but I still thought it was sufficiently creepy and gory and interesting from that regard.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I was watching some reviews on it, and there was one thing that, particularly on one review that stood out to me, was that they commented on how dark the game is as well, and that you don't have control over Leon's flashlight. So obviously it depends where you are in the game, but sometimes you can't see 1 foot in front of your face. So I think it depends on your circumstance or situation in the game. It will depend on how scary it is to you. If you're scared easy, like me, I would be pooing myself, I imagine.
It's dark. One of my issues that I had was my gamma on my monitor. I have set really high for games like Rainbow Six and PUBG.
Oh yeah.
So I could see people in shadows, and I had to turn it down quite a bit to play this comfortably. In fact, I did on my stream. I set up a filter on my face to make myself look blood red.
Yeah.
And that was legitimately so I could turn the lights off in my room. And see it better. And I side lit myself, so I had like this weird creepy profile, and it kind of fit the theme of the game as well. So that was fun. But
yeah,
one thing I want to mention that I wrote down here on my notes, and I forgot to bring it up earlier. I really love some of the small details of the puzzle building in this game. And I'm normally not a puzzle solving gamer guy. I don't normally like those kind of action games that get bogged down by puzzles, but they do such a good job of the little things. So you'll get a key in this game, and it's only going to unlock like 4 doors. And when and there's inventory management, so you have to you can only carry so much, and you stop at these trunks where you can like offload and reload stuff that you've put away. So that some of the game is tedious that way, where you have to okay, I need that, but I left it in storage. I have to go back to my storage area, get it, come back. Well, when you've used up the items that instead of carrying it around this key, it puts a little red check mark next to it that you've used it everywhere you can use in this area. So you know it's okay to put it in storage.
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
And the map, once you find the maps to the areas, all the rooms are in blue unless there's something that can be found there that it'll say still exploring. The map will be highlighted in red. So that cuts down on what the hell am I supposed to do now? I've gone everywhere. All I found is locked doors with no keys. I don't know where to go. This tells you, okay, dummy, there's back 2 levels down. There's a red room there. You still got to go back and explore there again.
Yeah, I saw that about the maps. There's what you were saying there. There's blue when you haven't discovered it. Is it yellow when you've discovered it but haven't found all of the stuff in it? And then red when you've found everything?
I don't know if there's 3 colors or if I just didn't notice, but all I remember is blue when everything's done and red if there's something still yet to be found.
Ah.
And if there's something that can be interacted with in the room, it's got a question mark and a square on it, and you can mouse over and it'll tell you you're still exploring this area, or you still need to do this thing. Like a lot of times it's, there'll be a valve and you have to get the actual wheel that you put in the valve and turn it. You got to find it and take it with you somewhere.
Yeah.
A lot of sewer levels in this one.
God. Do you reckon I think this one has been quite a success. I know it's early days and it's only been out 2 days.
Yeah.
But if they succeed enough with this, do you reckon they'll do any more?
I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, if it makes them money and they've already got the engine made, so they can just kind of, rework some of the assets. If it's a profitable venture, surely they'll do it, right? You would hope, but
yeah.
I don't know. I hope that they do. I would love to play Resident Evil 3 or even 1 in this engine. I think it would be entertaining.
Yeah. Speaking of just on the Resi series, did you ever play Resident Evil 7, the latest one?
No, I haven't. It's first person mode, and Bishop talked a lot about it. He said he thinks it's better. It's more scary because you're in first person.
It is, I guess, because
you played it?
I've seen a lot of gameplay. I have it, but I haven't played it yet.
I was just going to assume you didn't play it because you said you don't like horror games.
No, I do have it for some reason. I think I got it while it was no, actually, I got it 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It's just been sat on my Steam library. I just haven't got around to playing it. But I don't know how much of a Resident Evil game you would call it, because it is in first person. Whereas, typically the older Resident Evils are all in third person over the shoulder. So, I don't know. it looks like a really good game. I can see why people really enjoy it, because it has that fear factor of it, because it's in first person. So you can't see, what's immediately or out of your peripheral vision behind you. And it's a very unnerving experience.
Did you ever pull...
Go on.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. On the PS4, I know you just got a PS4, and I don't know if it's still there. There used to be a demo for a Silent Hill remake, I think, called PT.
Oh, God, yeah.
Did you ever try that?
I've never played it, but again, I've watched gameplay of it.
Okay.
There is no way I'm touching that.
I played it on PS4 a little bit. It's scary as shit.
Yeah, which it's unfortunate that who was the guy? Who was the guy? His
name. I know who you're talking about.
Crud. I can't get Nobuo Uematsu out of my head, but that's the Final Fantasy composer.
15, yeah.
Oh God! Hang on, I gotta Google this.
You gotta Google it now, yeah. No, I remember the first time I saw PT was I had a friend of mine's son was probably 13 or 14, maybe a little older than that. Maybe he was 15. And he had it on PS4 and was playing it like over at my friend's house. I'm like, what in the hell is this? And it was just a short little demo. He goes, it's really good. I go, you're just wandering around a house. And then I watched it for a few minutes. I was like, oh my God, this is creepy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Hideo Kojima.
Oh, Hideo Kojima. I didn't know he was involved in this. The Death Stranding guy.
Yeah. Wow. I think this was at the time of the fiasco where he fell out with Konami. And
okay.
I think they wanted him exclusively to work on a new Metal Gear. Yeah. And he didn't want to do that. So.
Okay.
I think, unfortunately, Silent Hill PT just got cancelled. Because of the disagreement with him, and then he left the company.
Yeah, I heard he left.
Yeah, so it is unfortunate, but we'll see what Death Stranding turns out to be if it ever gets released.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be out in 20 years. No, it'll probably be out next year. It looks very strange. Like it almost crosses that line of postmodern art where it's just weird for the sake of being weird and not really I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I hope there's some deeper level to it. I hope that all the crazy shit that they show in that trailer, like the baby inside, that makes some kind of video game sense later and it's not just weird for being weird. Yeah.
Well, I guess with Kojima's history, you would hope it will pan out to be good, but like you say, there's only one way to find out is when it gets released.
Exactly. Well, I would recommend Resident Evil 2 to people who are both fans of the old and people who have never played it before. You mentioned about Breath of the Wild just being the right game for it at the right time. Yeah. This accidentally was the best game for me this weekend. It's been a long time since I've had a video game where every time I wasn't playing it, I wanted to be playing it. I streamed it yesterday for 4 hours, took a break, came back and streamed it for another 4 hours in one day. And I never do that, ever. And I want to play it. We have we play Rainbow Six later with a scheduled event with some friends on stream, and I'm like, I wonder how long this is going to take because I want to get back on Resident Evil this afternoon.
We've got 2 hours of it, Crunk. It's 2 hours.
I know, but well, thank you so much, Sherry, for being on here. Hopefully, you give it a try when you get a chance.
Yes, I will. If I ever do get to it, I will let you know how it goes.
I'll have you back on the podcast.
Thanks.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.